Hi, hello guys, Nightmare in a Line here, back with another video. So, here I am today, bringing you the review of the 80 set of Ohuhu, I think I'm saying that right, markers. Just a disclaimer before we start, I am in no way, shape, or form sponsored by Ohuhu. This is for this video. My channel is still way too small for that, and I am so sorry for all the wait. School has been such a problem right now. So, yeah. On to the video. Hey, hi, hello guys. I hope you liked that new intro I made. I made it all by myself. So, now on to my review. So, I got these markers from my mom for Christmas. You can find them on the Ohuhu website under the products, or you can find them on Amazon. Here's the interesting thing about that. If you're worried about which marker deal is best or which one is actually the Ohuhu brand, you can do this interesting thing. If you go on the website and click what product you want, under the add to cart button, you have an option to buy on Amazon. I was really surprised, and it really helps to show which one is correct. So, on to what I got. For what I had gotten the 80 marker set with fine tip and chisel nib. It came with a very convenient swatch sheet, which all the markers labeled there. It's important to know what markers look like before you use them, so this is very, very convenient. And they are small enough to store in with the markers in your case. The markers also come with a plastic sheet that you can put in between the page you're working on and behind it. It's very, very useful because of the reason that these markers are very quote unquote juicy and bleed through pages like it's nothing. I still haven't figured out the best way that I could clean it because it's impossible to find a video or site that tells me how, and it's very, very annoying. But I will try to figure it out, and once I do, I will totally make a video on that to save everyone else. On to the pros and cons of these markers. Here are the pros that I had found with using these markers. The markers are fast drying, so they're nice when coloring, and you don't have to worry about waiting too long, even though they are juicy. Air quotes. They have vivid colors, and they're very nice to use when doing things in coloring books or in your sketchbook and stuff. The colors go on evenly and they dry evenly. If you are coloring a certain area within a relative close amount of time, they are all even, and it's amazing. The markers are lightweight and easy to use. They have a plastic exterior which makes them 10 times lighter than the other markers that I have used, but that's my opinion. Another pro about the way they make the markers are that they have labeled the fine tip side and the marker with a gray line and still has an image representing both the nibs so you don't get confused. The way the marker is made is sleek and looks very nice for the price. They have a simple design and a sort of oval shape to them, unlike most Copic markers I have seen, which they're just cylinders that roll around everywhere, and it's a little easier to keep them in place on your desk. When it comes to packaging, I have two pros and a con about this, but we will get to the cons in a second. A pro with the way they package these markers is that they provide a small information sheet that tells you a bit about their products and frequently asked questions they get. As you know already, another pro is that they come with a plastic sheet that fits in with the markers and their case that you can put in between your page that you're working on and the page behind it. It stops it from bleeding to the other page, which I know is a big struggle. I do wish that it was a bit bigger, but if they made it any bigger, I don't think it would have been able to fit in with the markers, making it more portable. With packaging, I find them providing small swatch sheets that fit in with your markers, and their case is very efficient and easy to reference. Instead of using a big piece of paper to swatch out all your colors that you might stick in your sketchbook or whatever and you could lose it, instead they give you 2 blank small cards with the names and numbers of each marker that you can swatch out yourself. And 1, that saves time, and 2, makes everything more efficient and portable. A big pro that I have about these markers is how the company made sure to keep portability in mind with this. They provide you swatch sheets and provided a plastic divider between pages so you can work with them on the go. Unlike the Spectrum Noir markers I own, they have a small shell for each marker, which makes them so much easier to travel with if you only want to bring a few certain ones with you instead of the whole bag. Now that I've finished the overall good pros about these markers, let's move on to the cons I found with them. I really only have a few cons with these markers, but I would like to go over them and why. I find that heavy bleeding with these markers, since it's so pigmented and there's so much ink, is a problem. I've had a few times where my plastic sheet has just been too small and I forgot about it, which leads to some color leaking onto the next page. I understand that these are alcohol markers, so of course they bleed, but mostly the con here is that the plastic sheet they provide is a bit too small for some things. After looking at my colors after swatching, I found that there really isn't much variety on skin tones at all, which is okay if you're doing coloring books or florals and stuff like I usually do, but if you're aiming for these for character art, maybe get some skin tone colors from their skin tone set of markers on their site as well. It would honestly be good if you got both or just one, depending on what you're using them for. Another thing that I've noticed is that depending on which markers and how long you use them, you can start noticing a somewhat strong smell from them. Not like Sharpie or paint marker strong smell, because if you're like me and don't do well with handling strong smells like that, I would just say that here. I've only noticed that in certain markers, and usually it didn't start to be noticed or bother me at all until I've been using the marker for a while. Not an overwhelming smell, but it's still something to consider. One of my last cons involved the case that comes with these markers. The case is great and very built to be portable and is efficient in that way, but I wish there was more support for the casing. I've noticed that because it's really like just a circular case with no backbone or structure to keep it except for the top of it. Moving it around, it tends to mix up your markers, which if you have a problem with making a mess of markers, in your case, that would be a problem. If the case had a bit more structure and was maybe a rectangle, it would be easier to lay it on its side on your desk or to keep the markers organized the way that you want them. Because of this, I tend to make sure to pull out the markers I'm going to be using before I start coloring so I don't spend 5 minutes searching for that one color out of 80. That's really all for my review of these markers. Overall, I would give them a really positive review, which with a few minor cons, but definitely things to think about. If you're interested in getting these markers, I will have a link to them on Amazon and their site down below. I will also have my Instagram in there as well in case you're interested in seeing more of my art. And with that, I believe that's all. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. It's all extremely appreciated. Don't forget to stay hydrated, healthy, and safe, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching, and if you watched until the end of this video, give yourself a pat on the back, because I'm pretty sure this is going to be a long one for you guys. I'm so sorry. But with that, I'll leave. So, see you guys next time. Bye!